Have you ever been struck by a fear that defies explanation? A sudden wave of unease that washes over you without a discernible cause? Maybe it manifests as a sudden anxiety, gripping you tightly, or a deep, pervasive sadness that seems to emanate from nowhere, a shadow that darkens your spirit. These feelings can be unsettling, leaving you questioning their origin and purpose. What if these feelings aren't random, mere glitches in your emotional landscape? What if they are echoes from a past you never lived, residual imprints of experiences belonging to those who came before you, whispers from ancestors you never met, their stories etched into your very being? Imagine your DNA as more than just a blueprint for your physical body, a set of instructions for creating your unique form, but as a vast, intricate library of experiences, a repository of memories, both joyful and traumatic, accumulated over generations. Fears, strengths, and instincts all meticulously cataloged and passed down through the unbroken chain of generations, a legacy of survival and adaptation. We're not born as blank slates devoid of pre-existing knowledge or predispositions. We carry a subtle inheritance of feeling, a tapestry woven from the emotional threads of our ancestors, a legacy not written in stone but encoded in our very molecules, the building blocks of life itself. This idea blurs the distinct line between us, the individuals we perceive ourselves to be, and those who came before, the figures who shaped our lineage, making us living vessels of their history, custodians of their stories, and inheritors of their burdens and triumphs. Some of our deepest struggles, the battles we wage within ourselves, might not have originated with us. And conversely, the strength we find in times of crisis, the unwavering resilience that allows us to persevere, could be a precious gift passed down from a long line of survivors. Science is only just beginning to explore this mysterious and largely uncharted territory, venturing into the realm of inherited trauma and resilience, a place where memory and biology intertwine, where the past leaves its indelible mark on the present. Our lives may be more deeply interwoven with the lives of those who walked the earth long before us than we ever imagined, a haunting melody, a subtle undercurrent encoded in our blood, shaping who we are. Genetic memory. The very concept sounds like something straight out of science fiction. The idea that memories, those deeply personal and formative experiences, fears, those primal reactions to perceived threats or even instincts, those innate and often life-saving behaviors, can be passed down biologically, not just through the stories we tell, the traditions we uphold, or the culture we share. We readily accept that we inherit physical traits, the color of our eyes, the shape of our nose. But what if we also inherit a deep-seated fear of smoke, a fear we can't quite place or understand, or an uncanny sense of direction, a natural ability to navigate even the most unfamiliar terrain? For decades, science operated under the assumption that our DNA was a fixed and immutable code, a blueprint that remained largely unchanged throughout our lives, and that our experiences, the joys and sorrows that shaped us, died with us, fading into the mists of time. But the concept of genetic memory challenges this long-held belief, suggesting that our bodies in some mysterious way might remember things that our conscious minds do not, holding on to echoes of the past. Many of us feel strange pulls or aversions, inexplicable attractions or repulsions that we simply can't explain. The chilling nightmares of war, even if we've never experienced combat firsthand, or a profound sense of nostalgia for places we've never been, a longing for landscapes we've only seen in our dreams. Genetic memory offers a startling and potentially revolutionary explanation that the lives of our ancestors, their triumphs and tragedies, may have a profound and lasting impact, shaping our own emotional landscapes in ways we are only beginning to understand. If this is indeed true, then their struggles, their hardships, and their moments of resilience and triumph could subtly influence our own choices, guiding us down paths we might not otherwise have considered, shaping our deepest fears, the anxieties that plague our waking hours, and even fueling our most ambitious dreams, the aspirations that drive us forward. In this light, we'd be more than just solitary actors on the stage of life. We'd be conduits, living vessels carrying the weight and wisdom of a multi-generational drama, a story that stretches back through time. The story of our family, with all its complexities and contradictions, would become an active and ever-present biological force, subtly guiding our steps, influencing our decisions, and shaping our perceptions every single day. Our very dreams, those fleeting images that dance behind our eyelids, and our deepest anxieties, the worries that keep us awake at night, might simply be echoes, faint whispers carried on the wind, of a much older and far more profound story, a story written in our very DNA. For years, the idea of inherited memory lingered in the realm of speculation. It was a concept whispered among psychologists and pondered by philosophers, but largely dismissed by the scientific community. Inherited memory was just a theory, until a groundbreaking 2013 Emory University study emerged, challenging conventional wisdom and changing everything we thought we knew about genetics and behavior. Scientists embarked on an experiment teaching male mice to fear a specific scent, the delicate aroma of cherry blossoms. They did this by pairing the cherry blossom scent with a mild but unpleasant shock. The mice quickly learned to associate the smell with impending discomfort. The mice, conditioned by this association, learned to freeze in fear at the mere whiff of the cherry blossom scent, displaying a clear fear response. But here's the twist, the truly remarkable and unexpected finding that sent ripples through the scientific world. Their offspring, the next generation of mice who'd never once experienced the shock or been exposed to the scent in a negative context, were also inexplicably terrified of it. Even the grandchildren, the subsequent generation, showed the same ingrained fear response, exhibiting signs of distress and anxiety when exposed to the cherry blossom scent. This was all despite never being exposed to the original trauma, never having any direct experience with the shock or the conditioning process. Delving deeper, researchers found a fascinating biological basis for this inherited fear. These mice had more scent-detecting neurons specifically attuned to the cherry blossom aroma. Further analysis revealed chemical changes, epigenetic tags on their genes, modifications that influenced how the genes were expressed. The underlying DNA code itself didn't change, the fundamental sequence remained the same, but the way it was read, the way the genetic information was interpreted and utilized by the body, did. This groundbreaking study provided the first hard evidence that a learned fear, an acquired experience, could be passed down through generations, leaving a lasting imprint on the genetic landscape. The experiment opened a Pandora's box, raising profound questions about the nature of inheritance and the transmission of trauma. If mice can inherit fear, a specific conditioned response, what else might be passed down through the generations? Could our own anxieties, our predispositions, and even our instincts be echoes of experiences we ourselves never lived, but were instead inherited from our ancestors? The mouse study, with its compelling findings, made inherited memory a real, tangible biological phenomenon, forcing us to reconsider the boundaries of genetics and experience. It forced science to ask a fundamental question: what else is written in our blood, encoded in our genes, passed down through the silent language of inheritance? The scent of fear, it seems, can echo across generations, a haunting reminder of the enduring power of the past. Mice are not humans, but the question remains, can trauma be inherited in people too? Studies of Holocaust survivors' children show higher rates of anxiety and PTSD, even with no direct exposure to trauma. Some of this is learned behavior, but researchers have found biological signatures too, like lower cortisol levels in both survivors and their children. Similar patterns appear in descendants of famine survivors and indigenous communities facing generational trauma. It's as if the body remembers starvation, stress, and fear, preparing the next generation for danger. These findings suggest that history isn't just a story, it's a living reality inside us, shaping our health and emotions. The past, it seems, is never truly past. How can trauma be passed down without changing our DNA code? The answer lies in epigenetics. Think of DNA as a cookbook. Epigenetics is like sticky notes and highlights, chemical tags that change how recipes are read, not the recipes themselves. Life experiences, stress, diet, toxins, can add or remove these tags, turning genes on or off. For years, scientists thought these tags were wiped clean before passing to the next generation. But research shows some tags escape the wipe, carrying echoes of experience to our children. A father's stress can add a tag to his sperm's DNA inherited by his child. Trauma doesn't rewrite our genes, but it leaves a chemical mark, a biological echo. This echo might make descendants more sensitive to stress or certain triggers. It's not a cinematic memory, but a subtle predisposition, a shadow of the past written in chemistry. Epigenetics offers a real mechanism for inherited memory. If inherited trauma is real, it could revolutionize mental health. Therapy might explore not just your life, but your family's traumas, wars, migrations, famines. Understanding your anxiety as an echo of ancestral struggle could lift shame and self-blame. New therapies could target inherited patterns, building resilience and breaking cycles of trauma. This knowledge reframes social issues as public health crises. Historical injustices become biological burdens. Healing ourselves could help heal future generations, making us stewards of our family's legacy. We have the power to pass on resilience, not just trauma. It's a profound opportunity to shape the future, starting with ourselves. We must approach genetic memory with scientific skepticism. The evidence is intriguing but far from proven in humans. Many scientists argue that what looks like inherited trauma is actually learned behavior. Children absorb their parents' anxieties and habits. It's nearly impossible to separate biology from environment in human studies. Critics say the few epigenetic tags that escape the wipe are unlikely to shape complex behaviors. The link between a chemical tag and a human emotion is still tenuous. The scientific community is divided. Some see epigenetics as the key, others urge caution. We must not overlook the powerful impact of culture, poverty, and environment. For now, inherited memory remains a powerful idea on the frontier of science. Whether or not inherited memory is proven, it changes how we see ourselves. The weight, our struggles may be part of a much older story, a lineage of pain and survival. This can feel daunting, like wrestling with ghosts we never met. But there's wonder too. We're connected to the past in the most intimate way. Our strength in crisis might be the resilience of ancestors, a shared gift. We're not just individuals, but living libraries of our lineage's wisdom and endurance. We are bridges between past and future, woven from countless stories. Even our private feelings may be part of an ancient chorus. Whether genetic memory is fact or metaphor, it changes our perspective. We are tapestries woven from generations, each thread a life, a struggle, a joy. We didn't choose our threads, but we weave them into something new. This view inspires compassion for ourselves and others, each carrying hidden histories. Healing is a collective journey. Mending our own threads helps mend the tapestry of our families and communities. Our inner archives may hold not just burdens, but treasures, strength, creativity, love. When you feel an inexplicable pull or fear, you may be hearing a whisper from the ghost in your blood. You are a living story, a tapestry woven through time, carrying the legacy of all who came before.